Hey out there, legal warriors. This video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about sort of a distasteful law, something that I hope none of us ever do, but still is an important video nonetheless. This video is going to be about the crime in Washington State called communicating with a minor for immoral purposes. Think Chris Hansen, To Catch a Predator, Dateline, that type of stuff. If you're interested in this area of the law, stay tuned. This is the video for you. My name is Attorney Lance Fryrear. I'm a defense attorney in Linwood, Washington. I've been defending people charged with crimes all throughout Washington State for more than 20 years, and I'm putting out these videos to help educate the public. So if you find this useful, please like and please subscribe. More people will get the help they need. Now I'm just going to jump right into it. There's a law in Washington State called communicating with a minor for immoral purposes. And in my opinion, it's one of the more broad and amorphous and not well-defined laws here in the state of Washington. And it's a very serious law. We could all agree, I believe, that protecting minors, protecting people under the age of 18 from being exposed to predators is very important. So this video is not about telling anyone to do that. You absolutely should not communicate with a minor for an immoral purpose. But I think this is still an important topic we need to cover here about what that means, how it's enforced, and what type of case we usually see here, so you don't accidentally or be careless in some way and get caught up in something that you don't intend to. So communicating with a minor for immoral purpose makes it illegal for anybody in this state to have in-person or electronic communication with someone that is under 18 or someone they believe to be under 18 for an immoral purpose. And, I was a prosecutor for 7 years. I've had a case recently even that we dealt with where someone was charged with that offense. And what is a moral purpose? How is it defined? An immoral purpose. And I even asked the prosecutor in a case I dealt with, said, "Prosecutor, what is an immoral purpose?" And they said, "I don't know, but I know it when I see it." Well, that's pretty scary. If a person knows it when they see it, but they don't know how to define it, and they're the prosecutor, that tells you what a problem this law is, in my opinion. So, in general, the way I think about what an immoral purpose is, if you ask a minor to do something that would be illegal if they actually did it, then that's definitely an immoral purpose. I've recently seen case law that says basically an immoral purpose is communication with someone under 18 or someone you believe to be under 18 for the purpose or with the effect of exposing them to or encouraging them to engage in sexual misconduct. So it's pretty broad. One person's immoral purpose might not be another one's. And so as we all have watched that show, most likely years ago, To Catch a Predator, and I've been deep down the YouTube hole in that lately myself because of some cases I'm dealing with to sort of think how the public thinks about things, because us defense attorneys, we sort of get warped over time, about thinking about things one way. I sort of took a deep dive into that to think, well, what does that mean? What are the pitfalls when we deal with situations here in Washington State? So the most common way we see this situation charged in Washington State is some type of sting. Maybe not as out there as To Catch a Predator and that type of stuff back in the day, but some law enforcement agency starts communicating with somebody online, and usually they portray themselves to be over age to begin with, to be 18 or older. And then somewhere in there, they sneak in the fact that no, they're underage. And of course, what would any good person do at that point? They'd cease communication and say, "You're underage, I want nothing to do with you." Okay? And that's what everybody should do. Again, this video was 100% against communicating with a minor for an immoral purpose. But what often can happen then is the person just continues communicating. And there's stuff that is questionable, they say, and next thing you know, they're getting arrested for this charge. So I want to cover two differences in the law. If you communicate with a minor for an immoral purpose in person, face to face, that's not a felony, believe it or not. It's only a gross misdemeanor. However, if you communicate with a minor for an immoral purpose through electronic means, even if you're a million miles away, you're in the other side of the country, and the decoy or the actual minor is in Washington State, and you're texting, that's a felony. Now, you couldn't actually meet them face to face in that case, but you don't have to. If you communicate electronically, it's worse than if you communicate in person, and that's pretty bizarre if you ask me. Additionally, in Washington State, if you're convicted of either version, the felony or the non-felony version, you have to register as a sex offender. So you may be required to register as a sex offender if you're communicating with someone that you believe is over 18, they sneak in that they're under 18, and you believe they're under 18, or they actually are under 18, well, now you're a sex offender, even though you never met them, you never saw them, you never actually did anything further. And whether or not that is just or not, I'll leave that to the viewer, but it's definitely something you should be aware of that could happen. I'm not taking a position if it's just or not, but I'm making you aware that if you are communicating with someone you believe is an adult and all of a sudden they say they're not an adult, you should probably stop that communication immediately. So if you end up getting charged with this type of thing, how could it be defended? Well, one of the ways it could be defended is the law says that you either have to believe they're under 18 or they have to be under 18. Well, if you stick to your belief that they're not and they're just making it up, that would be a defense. You never believed they were under 18. You're going to have to get a jury to believe that, which is going to be very hard, right? Because no one likes someone involved in the situation, nor should we, right? That'd be one way to defend it. Another way to defend it is the way that we often try to approach a case like this is there wasn't an immoral purpose, right? Sometimes there can be situations where you're talking about things that could be questionable, but they don't cross the line. And so that's a way that you can look at it. What was the communication? Does it really cross the line or does it not? But the main reason I wanted to put this video out is just to make everybody aware, make the viewer aware that it's a crime in Washington State for you to have communications with someone under 18 or someone you believe is under 18 for an immoral purpose, which is not well defined. And so if there's any risque talk, any sexual talk, just don't do it. Just don't do stuff like that. There's no place in it right in our society. But I am a defense attorney, so it's my job to educate you about these pitfalls, how you could get into something that you think isn't that big a deal, that it's a huge deal and it's going to wreck your life. Okay, so if you're in this type of situation, if you're doing stuff you shouldn't do, go get some help, obviously. And if you're charged with the crime, feel free to reach out to my firm. Again, my name's Lance Fryrear. I have a law firm. We've been defending people charged with crimes for more than 20 years, and I hope you're not in this situation. But if you are, reach out to us. We'll listen to what happened. We'll identify a way forward, and we will be there for you. Thank you.